InsyaAllah. Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm Manisa and today I have Khalil from Mesolitica and Zafrul from MySakinah, and Sembang Marketing Tech with Mesolitica and MySakinah is on. Hi everyone. So happy to have you guys here, and I'm happy to be here with Khalil and Zafrul. And the key objective of today's show is really to show how SMEs and marketing technopreneurs can work well together. Okay, so I'm going to start with Zafrul. Zaf, it's been a while since we last caught up, and it was amazing to find out that you started MySakinah. Could you share a bit about what MySakinah does? And I think in terms of the program, what was your objective when you signed up for the MPC Dahlia Go Big Turbocharge My Brand Marketing Tech Adoption Series 2023? And what was your objective? And why did you choose NOWS? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone, and good evening. Rabbi Rashid Sohri wa Yasiri Amri wa Hlul Misani Yafkahu Kauli Amaba. So okay, thanks for inviting me over. Yeah, it's been a while, so it's good to see you again. Just a quick brief about MySakinah for those out there. MySakinah is a marital health company. What we provide is we provide marriage guidance and therapy for couples that are unhappy or in marriage crisis, that has a marriage trajectory that's heading towards divorce. Our primary goal is for you to have a trend trajectory reversal and save your marriage and keep your family intact, right? So that's in essence what we do, right? And sorry, the next question is what we were looking for, right? Okay.
Yeah.
What we did in MySakinah in the early stages, we followed a lot of what Paul Graham says in his Y Combinator punya mantra, is do things that don't scale. So we were doing a lot of things that didn't scale, and one of the things that we did, which is not scalable, was how we acquired customers, right? So we did a lot of I think calling, and we did a lot of filtering, and just I guess a lot of manual work, and we were just very much focused in getting data, right? Data for couples who are out there. Because believe it or not, it's very difficult to find insights from couples that are in marital crisis. No one wants to share information. Obviously, that's very personal, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're there to help.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that we were always thinking was like, hey, this is great for customer insight, all the manual work and insight work, but it's not scalable. I know that it's not scalable, right? So I think one of the things that we were looking at is, okay, how do we make this? How do we make our customer acquisition marketing scalable? How do we start to automate our marketing process? And I think the story is that one of the things that we observe, because we did a very gated process in acquiring customers, and we had customers to kind of fill up a form and sign up, and if they wanted help with their marriages and whatnot. So we found that there were people, obviously, right? You are in crisis and everything, signing up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and things like that, right?
Right.
So we said, okay, we couldn't, obviously, I wouldn't make my team answer in the morning, right? Then we have another problem. Then they would need MySakinah for their marriage, right? Right.
Oh yeah.
So we didn't want that, right? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think so we didn't want that. So we were, I think we were looking. I think the answer was okay. You know what? Do things that don't scale in the beginning, great, but it can. It's not forever. So we were looking at how to start to automate our customer
Mm,
acquisition, marketing
mm,
awareness, sales
mm,
funnels, etc. lah.
mm.
Yeah. So that was, I think,
The
the
objective.
answer, the
Yeah.
objective, the objective.
But why
Uh,
nows? Why nows and
Announce.
not the
Okay.
and not the other technology tools? Because I think we presented there were easily like about 10 to 20, but nows was the one that you went with.
Yeah. Because I mean, one of my motivations on doing MySakinah was that, you know, I never really built any AI tech product, right, or
Mm,
any
mm.
AI powered startup.
Yeah.
You know, I built a lot of things in my life, but not this, right, not AI.
Mm, mm,
So I kind of even when I did my, you know, conceptualize MySakinah almost now 18 months ago,
yeah.
the plan was that, hey, you know, our AI component was going to come maybe 3 to 5 years down the road, but the whole
Right.
thing about ChatGPT, you know, just swept the world, right? The
Right.
wave swept the world. So
Yep.
we say, okay, time to bring everything forward, right? Time to bring everything forward.
Yeah.
And I think Khalil was and is very noisy on social media, so she's everywhere, right? And 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 one of the, I think, a few reasons. So I think one of the things is that MySakinah sees the Bahasa speaking market as its primary market, right? So both Bahasa
Mm,
Malaysia, Bahasa Indonesia,
mm,
in Malaysia. So we went
mm.
everything Bahasa Malaysia day one,
Right.
yeah. And obviously, Mr. Naus has a 40 gigabyte data set of Bahasa Malaysia, you know, AI, LLM punya,
Ah.
stuff, right?
Mm,
So, so that's one of the reasons why I say, hey, this is kind of interesting. But the
mm,
other reason as well is that, you know, the story I said just in the beginning, we had
mm,
people coming in at like late nights. So
mm,
if you've been in relationships or
mm,
marriages that are,
mm.
you know, shaky,
On the
rocky,
rocks?
unhappy, on
Yeah.
the rocks, you know, you can't sleep, right? You know,
Yeah.
sleeping is out the window. You'll be scrolling in the middle of the night. You'll be waking up,
Yeah.
right? So we
Yeah.
wanted to find a way to say, okay, how can we answer or at
Yeah.
least, you know, respond to these people at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Mm,
without putting a strain on the team, or, you know, needing to hire someone, because we're so
yeah.
small. Unless we're big and we can hire 24/7
Mm,
call center people.
mm,
So I think that's one of the things that we were looking at, is how do we actually provide this response as human-like as possible, right,
mm.
to anyone that was actually having had you know, in distress, just wanted someone to answer, so
Yeah.
that we can then respond the next morning or the next day.
Great. I think that's a very interesting perspective. I don't think Khalil envisaged that measuring the amount of sleep that your beneficiaries get as a way to measure productivity. But but Khalil, maybe a quick one about what you do with Mesolitica and at Mesolitica, and when you worked with MySakinah, what was the onboarding process like? And
Mhm.
how have you helped them achieve that measurement of productivity from their marketing with nows? Go ahead.
Yep. Okay. Assalamualaikum everybody. Khalil here
Sana.
from Mesolitica.
Salam.
So we are a specialized company that trains narrow AIs to understand Bahasa Melayu. So that is our core specialty. So for the
Mm,
longest time, we wanting to build a product to sell to to go to market instead of going to big corporates. So
mm,
when ChatGPT came into the picture, it was memang we are here to capitalize on the hype of ChatGPT, utilize our Bahasa Melayu capabilities, and then offer a package that is affordable to SMEs lah, to start with.
mm, mm,
So this is where Nows comes in. Nows is upgraded with ChatGPT, and now we have our own Malaysian version of ChatGPT called Malaysian LLM. So
mm,
when we onboarded, we were fortunate juga sebenarnya dengan MySakinah, because when we talk, they were already exploring the APIs from OpenAI
mm,
and
mm.
technicalities of it. So it was easier to
To
explain
sell.
what it was
uh,
done. Yeah? Now it's just like,
mm,
now how do we onboard their knowledge base and the
mm,
information about Sakina, the program, and the style of reply. So these are two things, two different things. One is the data and the style of replying to customer queries lah. Because if we just use the default punya persona, it might feel flat or boring or schema.
mm,
So one thing unique about now's chatbot at MySakinah is the optimization of the persona itself. Yeah? We already did the knowledge base,
Right.
but the persona is optimized to reply in the way or in the voice of MySakinah, being a Islamic marital punya service kan. So
Yeah.
that is one thing unique lah
Right.
to MySakinah punya bot.
But do people have to have technical knowledge about AI to be able to use nows?
Tak. For the very least, if you're already a hardcore user of ChatGPT, that is the starting point. You understand.
Okay. Kalau tak hardcore macam mana? Kalau dia tak hardcore tapi dia nak juga figure out how to use chatbot, boleh?
Then we start with the basics dulu, with the best practice. Kita optimize to
Right.
the life. That means when they see
Yeah.
the what now is sounding like this, but I'm
Yeah.
sure they will have the idea. Boleh tak they try to sound something more funnier or more
Yeah.
less serious? Then we tweak the persona. So this is
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the ongoing training of the chatbot is important. Of course, on from day one, macam once we sign up for the account, train with the company data, improve persona and accuracy of each questions. This is an ongoing process. That means once we measure and once you live for 1 month, we look back at all the live chat history and identify what other opportunities to optimize. So this into actual conversations that the bot have with visitors. I think this is one thing that led to that feedback from MySakinah kan, that long conversation yang intricate ni is due to the fact that the persona was optimized, and because it was an Islamic punya persona, we can deduce intuitively even though that information tu is not in MySakinah punya knowledge base, general knowledge that GPT has or out there in the world, memang dia akan it will give you this advice that is acceptable kan, to ours for me to my surprise, and it was that good lah. So we want to leverage this for all other companies that wish to have the same experience.
So what was the outcome like in using nows for MySakinah, Zafrul? What was the outcome for you?
So I think very clearly, I mean, we had a very specific use case, right? So we wanted to be able to, I think number one, I mean, talking about marketing automation. So one of the things that obviously we wanted to do was to drive down our customer acquisition costs, right? To see whether or not can now do a little bit of the pre-selling or answering questions. Actually, it was about, hey, man, if we can deliver value, if we can just help someone answer, give the answer that they're looking for, and help them feel more at ease. I think that was our number one goal, right? And because we believe that if we successful in providing value upfront, then it will automatically translate into a follow-up or conversion down the funnel. So one of the things that I think so obviously when we started, we had a lot of tweaking to do. I think that what I think Khalil a little bit mentioned, I think so. Funny story was that we had a lot of people testing it, and I think one of the questions were like, bagaimana isteri saya suka membebel. Then after that, the now chatbot went on and membebel balik, right? So the guys were like, apa membebel kat saya, so a lot of like funny things like that, right? So but yeah, I think the good thing is like, hey, we immediately told the Mesolitica team, say, hey, you know what?
Bebel.
Yeah, we got to stop the chatbot from membebel to our
Yeah.
So we say, hey, let's tweak it and let's optimize it and whatnot, right? So I think that really, I mean, it's still a bit early. We still need to run a bit more tests, to be honest, right, to see whether or not. But we can see that people are coming in, and when they engage with the chatbot, they've got some like real conversations happening with the chatbot, which then would be I would say reduce the workload from our one salesperson that has to manually attend and answer all the queries that our clients have, right, or the spouses have.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Yes, Umi, chatbot pun boleh membebel juga nampaknya. So I think that's where I think for Naus and MySakinah, it's a continuous process of enhancing the conversation so that Naus can maintain the conversations to the extent where it's a lot more real, I guess, to a person. And I think it's great that you're looking at bahasa Melayu because the fact is memang I think majority in Malaysia speaks Malay, and it's a market that needs to be served for sure. I'm really glad to have you guys here today because
Just wanted to add. I think it's
yeah.
I mean, I would say that maybe for me, I think Khalil is onto something because if you use, I mean, like for us, we heavily use ChatGPT, right? A lot, and all other generative AI tools.
Yeah.
So you see I mean, the chatbot and everything, or ChatGPT have difficulty in distinguishing between bahasa Malaysia and bahasa Indonesia, right? So obviously the data set in bahasa Indonesia is bigger because they've got 300 million people, right?
Big
So it's
population,
always, I think it's just not on ChatGPT's answer, but even if you look at the voiceovers, things like that, when you generate, voiceovers, things like that. So the pronunciation always, like choba, things like that, right? So it
lain
always
sikit.
like, it always lari sikit to Indonesian, right? And yeah. So
Okay.
it's good to kind of have like a pure Bahasa Melayu data set that it can, I think
And
assist a lot
it
of
helps to convert
Malaysian
better.
SME.
Yeah, it will convert better because when it's in a more native language, then it's easier for brands to convert because it's much closer to them. So if your SMEs or your marketing technopreneurs and you want to participate in the Dahlia Go Big with Turbocharge My Brand Marketing Tech Adoption Series 2023, like Khalil and Zafrul, it's a 1+ month program where you start off with a 3-day omni-channel marketing training followed by a demo day. So you're going to see Khalil during the demo day, doing a demo of Nows before you decide to choose tools like his. And we will have a one-to-one hourly marketing productivity analysis followed by a 4 weeks onboarding process. So this is where like Khalil and Zafrul, how they work together to onboard MySakinah on Nows. So this was time that they spent to do that. But of course, different technopreneurs have different styles, different ways. So Khalil shared with you how he does things. And we will end with a 15 minutes sharing session by the SME. So that's what Zafrul did. He presented to MPC and shared about their tech onboarding process. But I think the process has not stopped. And what we'd like to do is in January, when we have our group graduation with everybody, we hope to have all the cohorts share their success story. Zaf and Khalil, keep on working on it. We're looking forward to, some amazing, shall I say, saving of marriage crisis, because it's not just about helping people stay married, but it's also about um, uh, uh, people who don't want to stay married, helping them break up peacefully. So we've got one last question before we close. So this question is, any chance of the chatbot? So this is a question for Zafro. Any chance of the chatbot building a relationship with clients? Possible tak?
Yeah. I think there is this, there's a case study with a startup called Replica in the US, right? Where this is, it's a big ethical issue where, we do see relationships happen with, the AI punya avatars, and because it seems so perfect, right? So, and people get, I guess, get sidetracked with something that's not real. So, and one of the reasons why we just didn't plug in ChatGPT, right? Because I think one of the problems with these generative AI tools is that the value systems, right? So when they provide the answers, what values does it have, right? So it was important for us to kind of build some guardrails, right? So with MySakinah, we're very big on anchoring everything on Quran and Sunnah. So every modality that we bring in, whether it's modern day relationship techniques, we have to anchor it with Quran and Sunnah. So I think that's one of the things that I talked to Khalil about. So, okay, how do we build guardrails? How do we make sure that these things, like, they don't go off board and start relationships and start hallucinating? Because we know in traditional therapy that clients quite often fall in love with the therapist. I think it's a quite common thing, right? So this is something that we are, I think, we are aware of, we're concerned about, and having that conversation with Khalil and being able to build guardrails is something that we're consistently working on.
So I'm amazed by how you guys are working together on this, and I believe that if you stick to that position, that whatever it is, you go back to Quran Sunnah. That's a really good position to adopt. And it's a very interesting position actually, because there is a lot of studies being done on how to apply Islam to contemporary practices, and I think this is one of it. Because I don't think anybody imagined that you could actually do marriage counselling using technology, especially through a chatbot. And I look forward to results from MySakinah in how you are saving these marriages crisis in the way that you're doing it. But it'd be interesting, I think, Khalil, if you ever get to a point where you're measuring productivity out of MySakinah from the amount of sleep that their clients are getting, there will be interesting data to monitor as well. So before we end, I do have a question actually, because budget is going to be announced on Friday, right? Anything on your wish list for Khalil and Zafrul, from the perspective of, I don't know, tech adoption, something that would help your businesses thrive and grow further?
Zaf?
No, Khalil, I'll let you go first.
Okay. If there's any allocation for, like, because MPC, this program is by MPC kan, so if this program, this actual format, macam the turbocharge my brand punya format ni, compared to other programs that I've seen previously, where it was deemed as subsidized, which is not. Kan? This entire program ni is not subsidized. It's like you are actually streamlining this SME to choose the right technology at the right time. So for me, as a technopreneur, it's important that we spend time with the right clients to onboard. So this is our experience. So if there's any budget allocation for such a program, it should be this format lah, that I would like to see more.
And from Dahlia, are you getting are you getting that? Are you getting the right clients?
Yes.
Do you feel that you are?
Every
So you want more?
the clients that we choose, among they have the problem that we are addressing. That means we are going to the website, because it was clear during our demo day that we built now the current version for website, optimized for website for high traffic visitors. So we want to see more of this, because for me, if I go traditionally on my own to speak to a SME, they will always ask for the WhatsApp automation, which is we are not there yet, and we will eventually be there. But for the moment, we want to ensure that now handles the FAQs well, 100% bahasa Melayu, and then safety, like Zaf mentioned, the guardrails. So this is important. This guardrail punya issue dalam AI ni is very important for Malaysia. Is the 3R, the religion, race, and royalty punya issues lah. So how can be safely deployed even at the government or corporate level. So it is important to work on these guardrails before even we talk about WhatsApp lah. Yeah, WhatsApp can come, but the important now is the accuracy and safety.
Okay. What about you, Zafrul? What's on your wish list?
Okay. So I've got to be very honest. I haven't been following all these budget announcements of late, kan? Because busy saving marriages, kan? So so I got to put a disclaimer there. But I think there's something. If I had an opportunity right now to ask, there is, I mean, I don't know, but I remember KL being an ecosystem that had a lot more grassroots activities, right?
Mm.
For people to start startups, for, you know, I guess meetups, because I think that at that level, all
Mm.
the, you know, all these programs that were
Mm.
run, I think that last time the startup grind, and I know we used to run lean startup and
Mm.
a startup weekend and all these activities, right? So it's very vibrant. It creates a lot of value, but it's very
Mm.
difficult for you to monetize that value that you created from the people who
Mm.
run the program, right? Unless
Mm.
it's actually and unless it's actually subsidized by the government, right? So
Yeah.
I think before that was really heavily subsidized from busy ceremony. Yeah, so that was heavily subsidized by the agencies, right? By the agencies. So if I had one, that would be great. So if the government went back in that route, the
Mm-hmm.
other thing is to, hey, you know what? Also have like Series A, Series B ready so that we keep the
Yeah.
startups that we build and they don't
Yeah.
run away to Singapore, right? I think that's my one thing.
Mm.
The next thing I guess is on. I think I've been saying this quite a while.
Mm.
I think the Islamic economy and
Yeah.
startups in the Islamic economy, Malaysia is such a great position to really brand itself as, you know,
Mm.
I think a world hub, right? Like one of the world's hub. If you are an Islamic Muslim founder who wanted to
Mm.
build this next, hyper growth startups, right? I wouldn't call it the unicorns. I like to call it the red camels, right? So
Red camels.
red camel,
Okay.
right? Red camel, right? It's like a camel can survive in the desert. It is,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the red camels, right? So you know the time of the Prophet Sallam, the red camels was
Oh.
one of the most, precious and most, I guess, precious thing for people to have, right? I have a red camel, like
Yeah.
having a Ferrari or Lambo, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because people would speak in the breath, or, "Hey, I want to launch this global Islamic startups. Where should I launch it from?" People say Dubai, London, KL, right, as one of the hubs to launch it.
Yeah.
But I think traditional startups, people, KL is not even mentioned. It's actually Singapore, San Fran, and all kind of stuff. I see other cities lah. That's secondly. Okay, third one I will
Mm.
ask. Third one I ask is related to MySakinah, right? I would
Okay.
like the budget. I would like the budget to allow for. Um, I think in the US, you would be able to claim in your insurance for
Mm.
therapy, right? Whether it's
Mm.
mental health therapy, whether it's, I guess for us, it's relationship therapy, right? So
Yeah.
it's quite simple. I mean, if your marriage is on the rocks and
Mm.
you are struggling, right,
Mm.
it's almost automatic you have a mental health issue.
It
Okay,
comes with a package.
almost, right? It comes in a package, right? It just comes
Yeah.
in a package.
Yeah.
Even when spouses that are in marital crisis say, I have depression, I have anxiety, they immediately ask what's going on at home,
Mm.
automatically, right? You
Mm.
go to a doctor, you have like muscle spasms and things like that. Doctor will ask you what's happening at home, what's happening at work.
Mm.
It's automatic, right? It's not
Mm.
available here, but I know
Mm.
like in the US, it's available via your you can, whether it's in your insurance package lah. So if I had
Mm.
one request, I would request for that, primarily because I think it's needed.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, I think with MySakinah, you wouldn't imagine like so many people come to us and say, "Hey, you know what? I need this help, but I can't afford it. Yeah, I'm looking for something free." So we
Mm.
say, "Hey, why don't you go to government agencies and everything?"
Yeah.
Sorry, don't want. I don't. I've been there. I don't want that. So I think that would be my request to
Your
make
wish list
it
lah.
available. My
Okay.
wish list lah. Mm.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, gentlemen. So again, a reminder to SMEs and technopreneurs, if you're interested to join the Turbocharge My Brand Marketing Tech Adoption Series, and if you want to tiru macam, is tiru okay or not? Tiru macam MySakinah, do it like MySakinah, and enhance
Inspiration and tiru inspiration.
inspiration, yes, and enhance the productivity of his customer service. They don't have to wake up at 3 a.m. to answer questions or have their own marital problems by using Nows. So what you can do is you can scan the QR code and register to be part of cohort 5 and 6, which is kicking off on the 24th of October. and 14th of November. So you choose one, don't choose both. Okay. So we hope to see you at the program, and thanks so much, Khalil and Zafrul. Really awesome to have you guys being part of the program, as well as for sharing your experience of coming together and looking at adoption of the bahasa Melayu chatbot. I believe there's a lot of prospects here, a lot of opportunity here for MySakinah to really make a change and help couples either save their marriage or break it up peacefully. All right, thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, before
Assalamualaikum.
we go, sorry,
Oh, right,
last word. I mean,
sure.
shout out to you guys. Good job in putting this program together. I know it's a lot of hard work. You and the team work tirelessly. So, on behalf of MySakinah, take this opportunity to thank you. And I hope that more startups come in and apply for your program.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Zafar. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much, Khalil. With that, again, another round of applause for all the achievements and, whatever that you will be able to achieve moving forward. Thanks so much, and look forward to seeing you guys at the graduation in January.
InsyaAllah.
InsyaAllah. Okay.